I've told you before that in high school, I was a complete and utter pain in the ass to a lot of teachers. And maybe it's justice that I'm getting some of that back in my face now. But for the last 20 years, I've tried hard to make something of the classroom that I found myself in. This quote, now, when I talk 20 years, I started teaching in 2002. But this quote goes back to 1982, another 20 years before that. And I read this in a book called Illusions, and I didn't want to be a teacher, but this quote stuck with me. And it was back when I was first starting to read books, because reading had always been really difficult for me, and I didn't know, dyslexia, being dyslexic, that wasn't a thing when I was a kid. And I didn't understand why it was so hard for me to read and write. I couldn't spell. And for whatever reason, these words have stuck with me now for 40 years. And yeah, I'm wearing a t-shirt that says this today. I had a different plan for this week. I had actually talked to a student about using his work as an example for others. That's going to have to wait until after spring break. Look, this page, the Mac Lab way right here, this is all about how the Mac Lab started, and school sucking, and how can we change that? How can we do something to fix it? Complaining is one thing, but acting is another. And this whole page, they're little short stories. But it's all about the evolution of our classroom. These are the top 100 cities that visited the Mac Lab 10 years ago or so. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is when we get back to you teach best what you most need to learn. I got a letter today. Well, I didn't get it today. I got it over 2.5 weeks ago. I don't check my mail at school. I went up today because I had to go up for another reason, and I had a letter from an ex-student who's in some trouble. And it was suggested to him he reach out to somebody who helped him get on the right track, and maybe he could get back on that track again. I don't know how I became an anchor for some kids, and an object of ridicule for others. I get that. It's no big deal. But I want the best for each and every one of you. And I'm trying to be better myself. So this is where you teach best what you most need to learn. When I tell you, man, learn something new, I'm screaming to myself as well as you. Because I know I have to do the same thing. So, for whatever reason, there's a little bit of my soul. This is not an assignment. You don't have to go to the Mac Lab way. You don't have to look at it. You don't have to think about it again the rest of your life. But if you want to know a little bit about this classroom and what it might become for you, a little springboard towards a better tomorrow. I don't know, check it out. Think about it. What might you become? And how might you become something more than you ever were before? And again, like all these words, they echo right back at me. How can I be a little better?